Well, hello, gorgeous people. So it's Chatterwitch Wednesday, and I have been trying to work out how I'm going to carry on with the channel and what I'm going to do. So, and I thought the first thing I'm going to do is do like a sort of little mini series thing of just like um talking about different things. So the first one is today, and I thought, although we've discussed this a bit in previous videos, I thought we'd talk about the spiritual toolbox. So from the spiritual toolbox, I can then take things out of the toolbox and discuss them. So it seemed like sort of a good idea. So I probably won't list everything because I'll forget things and then they'll come up, and I probably will diverge and go off down different paths as I'm talking anyway, as I normally do. So yeah, so for anyone that is new, I'm Suzanne, Sue's Crystal Wolf, and I'm a eclectic sort of art witch, um, magician, witchy, shamanic. I just encompass a whole range. Eclectic sort of says it all. So my toolbox. My toolbox is very full of different things that connect in with healing and connecting with magic, and there's a lot in there that I've done a lot of study and a lot of practice, and it's been part of what I've done for a very long time. And then there's like little subsections in there and things that I've gone into to a degree, but I haven't taken it up as like as a practice that I've delved in deeply. So I've done a lot of different types of healing. I've done Reiki. I've done many forms of Reiki. I've done Seishem. I've done Sekhem, which is sort of connected to Reiki in a way through Seishem. I've done Karuna Reiki. I've done a bit of Lighterian Reiki. I've done quite a bit. Now, Reiki is big in my toolbox. That's something that I really studied. So I went deeply into that. I've got other things in my toolbox like numerology that I use in my practice, but could I do a numerology report? Not hope in hell. I don't like numbers anyway because I wasn't good at maths at school, and it was really quite difficult at school with maths. So it actually there's trauma around numbers and things. But when I looked into numerology, it was from Cassandra Easing. I think it was a psychic development book, and the book was like my toolbox. It had like lots of different things in. So like for divination, you might work with mirrors, you might work with cards, you might work with a pendulum, you might work with the runes, you might work with crystals. There's like loads of like subsections. So, and my toolbox is like that. So numerology, I looked into it enough that I could do, like, look at my numbers, and I use it for looking at like the days of the week, and I do the year. So I do the universal year and then my personal year. So I always look at the numbers for that every year and see, like, this year I'm in a 5 year, which is a year of change, and the universe is a number 6 year, which is like a nurturing year. So but obviously I'm not going to go deeply into these things because we can discuss it as I go through the toolbox. So each week I'm going to do like a little one on so it's going to be like a toolbox series, and then I'll just discuss certain things. So like sound healing, I'm very much into sound healing, and I have a few sets of tuning forks. I used to have a lot of gongs, and a lot more tuning forks which I've sold. I had a massive African drum that you could like have a load of people round it and work with it. I had a whole set of crystal singing bowls, which was like a chakra set. I was at one point a few years ago going to be moving to Spain, which didn't happen, and so I sold a lot of things, and so now I don't have them. So sound healing is always been very interesting to me. I remember I had my first tuning fork session at the Healing Weekend, Bill Harrison's Healing Weekend, when Bill Harrison was still alive, and it was mind-blowing. I'd never experienced anything like it, and at the same time I'd had gong baths with Tim Wheater at the Healing Weekend, which again just blew my mind. They were amazing, and I really get a lot from it. I find it really, really helpful. Gong baths and crystal singing bowl sessions, and there's some really amazing YouTube videos with like sessions like that, which I just, it really connects in with my physical bodies, uh, uh, my physical body and my etheric bodies. I can feel it go through every single layer, and it really soothes me. I just love it. So, but I've never done like a sound healing course, so again, it's not something I've gone that I needed to take up to teach it or go further with it. I just needed it to be in my toolbox for me to use, and that I could then suggest to others. So one of the big things with the sound healing thing is the solfeggio frequencies, and we will be discussing them. I use them all the time. They are, for me, one of the best healing tools. I just love them. And again, YouTube videos, there's hundreds. And with solfeggio, because there's 9 frequencies, so like 528 frequency is the miracle healing frequency, and they all do different things. So, and we'll discuss that, because that'll be, in fact, that might be next week's. So next week in the toolbox series, it might be the solfeggio frequencies. Crystals in my toolbox, massive. So crystals I've been looking at, working with, studying for a very, very long time. So they've got a big section in my toolbox. Divination is in there. I like working with a pendulum. Obviously the runes, as you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, they're big. So I've been really into them in the last few years, and that they're taking up a very big section in my toolbox. Cards, yes, I do work with cards. I do also do divination with crystal skulls and crystals, like that. And I like the I Ching, but I use the I Ching more on a psychological, spiritual thing, so like with the I Ching, I've got one book that is my favorite book, and I use that. So if I got number 15, I would look it up, and I would read that section in the book and see what it had to say to me, rather than doing the I Ching. I've never done it with yarrow sticks. I can't think what else. Divination tools. There must be loads more in there. Oh, colour. I like colours. I do like to work with colours. I've done quite a bit of work with the chakras, so that I wouldn't say that was a massive section in my toolbox, but I definitely done quite a bit of work and have used them throughout with my healing. So healing is a very big part of my toolbox, but again, it's got loads of little subsections. So like using crystals, essences. I love the back flower remedies. I work with orchid essences. I make my own essences. Make up my own. Say I was working with the back flower remedies for a few things, and I might be taking 2 to 5 essences in one bottle, so I'd make up the bottle with the essences in that I know that I need. And normally with that, so I've got back flower cards, and I would use my cards, or I would douse to see what ones. So dowsing is in there. It's not massive again. There's some really strange little subsections in my toolbox. Like I got into quite a few years ago something called switch words. I love switch words, and I've got quite a few books on switch words. I think the main book to read on switch words is what's it called? I've got a switch word book up there. I can't remember the book. But when I'll do a little thing on switch words anyway. So I don't think, I know I've got switch word books here, but I don't think I've got that main one. No. Yeah, so so I've got lots of little subsections in there that and sigils. I love sigils. I love sigil work. I have done candle work. I did the Muna Key a few years ago, and my shamanic. I haven't actually finished my shamanic practitioner's course because I didn't feel that I needed to carry on with it, because it wasn't, I don't know whether it was one of those things that I didn't really need to do, but it did give me a lot more understanding of certain things that I was already doing. So that was interesting. But there was a lot of practices in the shamanic practitioner's course that I would just never need or use, because I don't do hands-on healing so much these days. So if I've been carrying on with that and my Reiki, then I would have probably finished, and then I would have had extra things to do in that. So I've got the gene keys in my my toolbox, and the human design. I've done a lot of work looking into both of those. and I've done a couple of bits of the first lot of the Gene Keys as a course, but again, it's really interesting. It weaves in with a lot of what I do, but I don't want to be a Gene Keys teacher or Gene Keys oh, I don't know what they're called. Oh goodness. No, it's not going to come to me. So it's not something that I wanted to dive into and go further with. But over the years, I've literally done so many things. And even though I might not have carried on and gone like really deep into everything, you know, like I use colour because I mean, I work with art as well. So I use colour, and colour's always been something extremely important to me. Colours of crystals, colours of clothing, colours in your decor and stuff like that. You know, I know little bits about feng shui and stuff like that, but I didn't want to become a colour therapist. I didn't want to become a colour analyst or, you know, or stuff like that. So I didn't need to, I just needed to know how I wanted to work with it. And I think some things quite subjective. So I might really like the colour orange, and someone else could be really hate orange because their mum put them in an orange dress and sent them to school, and everyone took the piss out of them. And from that day, they've hated orange. Now, other people might say, oh, an aversion to orange, that's all about your sacral chakra, and it means you need to look at your sensuality, you need to look at this, you've got a problem with that. And in some cases that might be, but sometimes it can be really quite simple when you've just been traumatized by a color or a thing, or, you know, an object or whatever it is. So so there's lots of layers to that. What else is in my toolbox? I'm looking at the Kabbalah. I'm very interested in the Kabbalah, and I thought that was then the book on the, no, but it's not. Yeah, so I'm interested in the Kabbalah. Again, it's not something I've gone really deeply into. It's a vast subject, but I know little bits. I work with the planets, and I'm sort of now working with the planets with the runes. So yeah, so what I want to do is I want to do like a toolbox series. And I'm just gonna each time, so it'll be the toolbox series, it'll be toolbox series crystals, toolbox series Reiki, toolbox series numerology, and some will be quite short because I don't know massive amounts. Some, you know, we might go into deeper, and you know, it's just my interpretation of what we'll go into. It's just some of it may be a lot of what I've done and used over the years. Some of it I won't know so much. I'm just still trying to look at some, but most of these are rune books, so I mean it's literally the Ogham, and I mean there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot in there, and there's quite a lot to get us started. So yeah, so I think that would be a good way of doing like a little series that we can discuss lots of different things, and then maybe from one second me eye, maybe one as I discuss one thing, something else might come up. So we might discuss a couple of things in each one, and also it might take us off into another one that we can discuss. So it might, you know, might have a nice ongoing effect as such. So yeah, so that's what I I have decided, or how I'm going to move forward with Chatterwitch Wednesday. So we'll see how it goes, and yeah, just see how it goes. So it's, yeah. So this is a short video this week, just to say what we're going to be doing in the future. So next week, I think we're going to discuss the solfeggio, because it's so interesting. And at the minute, I've noticed there's quite a lot of people who are struggling with different things. And because the solfeggio works on every level, so you can use it to work on like really deep shadowy stuff, emotional stuff, spiritual stuff, opening and working with your third eye, and higher stuff, you know, higher, I think it's the 9. Oh god, see, I'm rubbish at remembering. Or like there's 174, 417, 528. But anyway, I'm a bit rubbish at remembering all the ones. I think it's 9 something is like the connecting in with the goddess essence sort of energy. So it's like a higher vibrational energy. But if you look up solfeggio, you can look it up to work with physical ailments, emotional stuff, and it's just vast. Anyway, there's no point in me talking about it now because we're going to discuss it next week. So yeah, so hopefully you'll tune in next week for that one. I mean, obviously there might be some that you're not interested in, and that's fine. I might just be discussing it to myself and no one to watch any of the videos. But so yeah, so hopefully we'll start that next week, and yeah, love and blessings, and hopefully you'll come and join me next week for a chat on the solfeggios. Yeah, love and blessings. Bye.